Welcome, ladies and gents, to the most must-see podcast in wrestling history. It's the PWC Podcast with your mother's favorite Vaz. And we're talking about WWE Raw, and what a Raw we had for you guys last night on Monday. It was a fantastic Raw, I might say, and since Backlash, I think Raw has been getting better and better and better every single week. And this week, no exceptions. I thought it was a really good show. I thought everything was, getting there. There were still some segments where you're like, yeah, that was bad. But, a lot of good talking points and a lot of good wrestling that we had in WWE Raw, which is something we haven't had in a while. Let's get into the review show right here on PWC. But before we do, of course, if you haven't done so and you're watching us on YouTube, please click subscribe and the notification button, and you can get notified of any upcoming videos. We've got all the reviews from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and AEW. We also give you a rumor mill as well as the list of Vaz. Breathe it in, man. It's all coming to you on the YouTube channel. And of course, if you don't have it on YouTube and you're listening to this on your podcast, wherever you get your podcast from, please, guys, just, push it as much as possible. Share it, like it with your friends. Tell everybody about the PWC podcast. Let's get into the review. We kicked it off with Miz TV. And this might be one of the better Miz TVs we've had in a while. We had Miz and Johnny Drip Drip in the ring, and Miz talking about how he's going to help Morrison, and he's a 2-time Money in the Bank winner, and he's going to help Morrison elevate and get him to win Money in the Bank. He then called out his first guest, and it was Drew McIntyre, and look, I don't know what they're doing with this McIntyre gimmick at the moment, going with these history lessons, which sound really ridiculous, but I'm kind of into them. So he gave us a history lesson about how his great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, or mother rather, was related to Davy Crockett from the Alamo. And just like the Alamo, the McIntyres never quit, and he'd rather win Money in the Bank, rather die than not win Money in the Bank, and a whole bunch of spiel came up. And then before Miz can even introduce or say anything else, Ricochet entered the ring, and he spoke about how he had that amazing spot with Johnny Morrison just last week. And before he could say anything as well, we had our fourth entrant enter in from the aspect of Raw, and that was Matt Riddle hopping along to the ring. He's got the little injured foot. He climbs up to the ladder immediately and drops one of the best lines in The Miz, that he is so high right now, and he just looked as stoned as anything. And then is dedicating the match to Randy Orton and kisses to the sky, which I think was fantastic. I love that little play on there as well. Then we got another interference. After Miz is trying to now organize everything, all of a sudden AJ Styles comes out to the ring with Omos, and Styles says, you know what? He was screwed out of an opportunity. He deserves to be in Money in the Bank more so than what Riddle and Drew McIntyre deserve to be in it, claiming that he was never pinned in the triple threat match and he deserves to be it. Then all of a sudden, Omos throws Riddle off the ladder, and then everybody's like, cool, no, can do anything. AJ Styles cheap shots Riddle as well. Again, no one says anything. And then all of a sudden, Ricochet attacks Johnny Drip Drip. They exit the ring. They come back in, and then Drew McIntyre manhandles Omos, hitting him out of the ring. It was a good segment, not what we expected. I expected a massive out brawl, but this just proves to me one thing going into Money in the Bank next week, Sunday, is that there's only one heel currently in Money in the Bank across the board. I mean, you've got Kevin Owens, you've got Big E on the SmackDown side. They're all faces. Then you have Riddle, you have Drew McIntyre and Ricochet, all faces. And then only Johnny Drip Drip is your only heel that you have in these dynamics. And personally, I believe heels make better Money in the Bank winners. If you look at the past, the better ones have all been full-blown heels. So it's interesting to see if On SmackDown, we see the likes of Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin being entered into Money in the Bank instead of Cesaro and Shinsuke or Kingsuke Nakamura. It'll be very interesting to see the dynamic. But, of course, we're sticking with Raw. And from this Miz TV, we got our first match of the evening. And it was Ricochet versus Johnny Morrison. And they picked up exactly where they left off last week. And that was a fantastic technical, brilliant, just a great match, which we all loved, except for the ending. The ending was, it was typical WWE, cause something to try and save both wrestlers in that aspect. Ricochet did a really cool move out of the ring, but it was countered by Johnny Morrison and flipped him. Both got really badly hurt. It was really cool. I need to mention before I get to this, what an amazing standing Spanish fly in the middle of the ring as well from Ricochet and Johnny Morrison. These guys can bring down a house easily, and I'm excited to see them in Money in the Bank. But going back to the finish, Ricochet was out in the ring. Johnny Morrison managed to get back in. Miz telling the ref he was backing, blocking Ricochet's entrance back into the ring, and Johnny Morrison picked up the victory over Ricochet in a countout. We then got a little backstage segment with Mackenzie. I think his name is Mackenzie, that Irish dude. I can't remember his name now. Anyway, he came to the backstage room with Bobby Lashley and, of course, MVP. Dancing with the girls, everything. Came in there. I love MVPs. How do you keep getting in here? Like they don't just open doors, it's fantastic. Yeah, it was a good little segment, putting over Bobby Lashley and how dominant he's been and proving that Bobby is not soft, as they put it. We then got another little backstage segment with the three ladies that are going to be competing in the match coming up. It was Nikki Ash, her new name, that's Nikki Ash. Almost superhero. Anyway, Nikki Ash, Naomi and Asuka Nikki Ash talking about how she's found this new love for being a champion, etc., etc., etc. And it was nice. It was fun. The little dynamics that she's saying she's going to be Money in the Bank. Naomi's like, well, I'm going to be Money in the Bank. And then Asuka coming saying, no. I'm also Money in the Bank, girls. Come on. Ash went out. Alexa Bliss popped out of nowhere. And like completely out of the usual Alexa Bliss character, it felt more like old Alexa Bliss stating that she would become the champion. The four of them all went out to the ring. And they were going on against Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Eva Marie, and Doudrop. Name. Anyway, they had the match. They started off nicely. Doudrop, fantastic wrestler, by the way. I'm putting her down for a future WWE Championship somewhere down the line. Definitely just needs to drop Eva Marie. I understand the concept. I understand bringing her in and using Eva Marie's presence to get her over. It's working, but she deserves to be on her own. She is so good. And please, once Eva Marie's gone, get rid of that stupid name. Thank you. Anyway, the match happened, and it was a pretty straightforward match. Little shenanigans with Eva Marie tagging herself in and then tagging herself out quickly. And Byron Saxton actually picked up on that she's never been in the ring for longer than like 20 or 30 seconds, which was quite interesting to pick out. And then we got a little bit of Alexa Bliss shenanigans with Reginald, but Shayna Baszler put it to an end, pulling Alexa Bliss off of the ring apron, snapping Reginald out of that. But, of course, this is WWE, and a distraction finish is exactly what was needed. But it was done properly this time, with Nia Jax picking up the victory over the other four ladies. However, Eva Marie came out of the mic and said she was the winner. I get what they're doing with that. Fun match. It was entertaining. It could have been maybe spotlight the ladies a little bit better, I think. I don't know. It was fun. It wasn't bad match. It was good to see the different dynamics, but I wanted to see more of a tease between Naomi and Asuka with the Money in the Bank. Maybe even throw in Alexa Bliss a little bit more, just to tease that amazing thing. Alexa was fantastic though. For the first 20 minutes of or 10 minutes of the match, she was just standing on the top row, on the middle row. by the corner, just chilling, like, whoo, yeah. Anyway, then we moved on. We had Mustafa Ali going against Mansoor. And this was a match that had been building up for a while. Ali is sort of the self-appointed teacher or mentor of Mansoor. And we had a little bit of backstage segment. We saw that it was from WWE exclusive from last week. And Mansoor basically asking why Mustafa Ali is doing all these things. And Mustafa has basically said he doesn't want him to turn out like he did. And I get the concept. I love that concept. I think there's two of the most talented wrestlers at the moment. They were probably one of the standout guys when 205 Live was at its peak. And yeah, I like Mansoor. I think he's got a bright future if they don't go the same route as they went with Ali, which is what Ali is trying to prevent. I like that. Of course, the finish, though, it is, again, WWE. There was too many W's in that one, but it's fine. WWE classic finish with the most devastating move in sports entertainment, the schoolboy roll-up. And yes, in this case, it kind of made sense, that Ali was teaching Mansoor a lesson again. He faked the injury and then came up and then did the schoolboy and Bob's your uncle. I get that, and keeps his mind focused. Says, don't play with your heart, play with your mind. And the fact that Ali was injured and Musa wanted to help him was great. A fun match, again. Technical masterpiece, I guess. I don't use the word masterpiece. Technical match. Could have been done better. Yeah. We then got a clip of Jinder Mahal coming to the ring with his bike and claiming that Drew never texted him, or when he texted him to go out, Drew told him he was too busy, and Drew took his place as Money in the Bank, all that stuff. We then had the match that presided that one, and before that we got another history lesson from Drew McIntyre, and talking about the legendary of the sword, how it belongs in the McIntyre clan. Since the days that Nessie was attacking Scotland, and yeah, his dad had a chokehold on Nick's head, climbed up the neck, took out one of the teeth, and they're now all friends, and that's why we can't see Nessie anymore. I can't even say that with a straight face, man. But it was such a good story. I loved it. I thought it was great. I'm enjoying these history lessons from Drew McIntyre. Anyway, we had the match, and yeah, I did not expect this match to be as fluid as what it actually was, all right? I thought it would be a little bit disjointed. I didn't think Jinder was backed up to scratch. The little bit that we had seen him in main event and his one or two appearances on Raw backstage, he didn't look like he was ring ready, but boom! Jinder, the modern day Maharaja, pulled it out of the park. It was great to watch. Good match. I wouldn't say 5 stars, but it was up there. It was a good technical match. Again, they got the DQ finish after McIntyre was about to put the Claymore on Jinder, and then Shivi and Veer attacked him and beat the living hell out of him, threw him into a ring post. And then, of course, he left the ring, ran up to the ring blade, took out the sword, and told Drew that he's stealing his family heirloom. Ending was a bit stupid, but I get that, and they need to play a story. I get that. We then got some tag team action, and I won't lie, I honestly thought Mace and T-Bar were released. I don't know why, but I had it in my mind that they were released, part of those WWE releases. But anyway, they were there, and in tag team action against Lucha House Party. And, often when you look at WWE in general, you pick up that there's trends, and, they're going for the big man and big things like that. And, what a good match, I guess. Good display from Mace and T-Bar, dismantling Lindsay Dorado, and all the way up to the end when Mace just lost. It was Mace. Mace got a bit woohoo, and then what's his name? Metalik. Oh, what an athlete Metalik is! Wow, for man, like, he's not your typical lean, thin, slim lucha. He's quite a bit of a bigger oak. But man, that guy can flip and jump and do whatever you need. That was fantastic display of athleticism. And I'm happy Lucha House Party won. I think it was the right call. The sneaky little pin was fantastic. The Hurricanrana, from Lindsay was fantastic, and it builds a little bit more of a face team, because if you look at the currently in WWE, the tag team division, especially on Raw, it's bad. There's not many credible teams. You've got the New Day, who are currently with Bobby Lashley, so they out of contention. You have the Viking Raiders, who are fighting with AJ Styles, and then you have these two. There's no one else really in the tag team division. RK Bro is sort of on the back burner. There will probably be a future team, but we know that team is not going to last as long as we hoped. Anyway, we're moving on. We're going to continue. We've got the match was made official during the women's match. It was Riddle taking on AJ Styles. And the foot came into play a lot in this match. And I won't be surprised if I'm going to put this prediction out there. Next week, we're going to hear that AJ Styles is taking Riddle's position in Money in the Bank. I've got a gut feeling this is where the story is going, because that injury looked really bad on AJ Styles. And of course, Omos getting involved a little bit as well. I need to give a big shout out, though. I need to give a big shout out to Riddle. That scene where he just depicted the Karate Kid. Wow, that was great. That was great. Of course, the ending, as per usual, WWE style. We got the Viking Raiders interfering, attacking Omos and causing distraction. But put that ending aside, this was probably one of the best matches of the night. The two of them brought the house down. And man, I loved this match. It was so great. And this was then followed up by probably one of the worst points in WWE tonight. And that was the tag team match between Cedric Alexander and Elias and Jackson Ryder and R-Truth. Now, I really thought Jackson Ryder and Elias was done. That strap match last week was terrible in terms of strap matches. I hope this feud was done. Clearly it wasn't. But before the match even started, Tozawa came out with the 24/7 title. R-Truth tried to pin him. Didn't get the pin. The rest of the crew all came out, which included Shelton Benjamin, by the way. And Cedric was then didn't do anything. Just putting that out there. They all ran. R-Truth was like to Jackson, sorry, but I've got to go. He left the ring and became a 2-on-1 handicap. It started with Alexander and Jackson Ryder. They had a quick little 1-2 there. Ryder was dominating. Cedric went for the tag. Elias stepped down. And then Riker won. That was it. So I guess we're getting more Elias versus Ryder. Yeah, I don't know. And then we got the main event. It is the New Day against the Hurt Business. And this was a great, great match. I'd say second to the AJ Styles Riddle match. It was so good, though. And this was perfectly constructed to build up for Money in the Bank. It showed the heart of Woods. It showed the heart of Kingston. It showed the arrogance of MVP and Bobby Lashley. And that's exactly what you want. A solid hitting match with, of course, the New Day picking up the victory. It was going to be MVP was going to put his finisher on him. But, of course, Kofi did a little reversal. Trouble in Paradise. 1, 2, 3. In the meantime, Woods had taken out Bobby Lashley on the outside, which proves that the New Day are very much up for the challenge of Bobby Lashley and MVP. That was Raw on the whole. I think it was actually a really good show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. If I had to give it a rating, let's give it a rating. Let's create the Vaz scale. It is the Vaz scale. There we go. We're going to rate every single show on this channel. So, of course, we're going to kick off with Raw, and it's a rating out of 10, and I'll give this Raw a 7. It could have been an 8, but we got that stupid Jackson Ryder Elias match, and the women's 8-man match wasn't as great as it should be, but Ricochet, Johnny Drip Drip, AJ Styles, Riddle, New Day, and Hurt Business brought that home perfectly. That's all we got for you guys. From me, your mother's favorite podcaster, Vaz. It's been awesome talking to you guys and giving you my opinions on Raw. Of course, coming up, we've got the NXT reviews, we've got AEW reviews, SmackDown reviews, as well as, of course, a couple of other special stuff, man. Guys, it's going to be fantastic. Rumor mills, we've got the list of Vaz, and 1 or 2 other surprises. Anyway, from now though, guys, please, if you haven't done so, subscribe and hit the notification if you're watching this on YouTube, as well as any podcast. Please, guys, please share, like, subscribe, do whatever you can to your podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast. Please, guys, check us out, PWC Podcast. From me, once again, we'll see you guys soon. Peace and chicken grease.